How's it going, everyone? It's Frankie Martinez with Heart of a Warrior Strength, and today I'm going to lace you guys up with some game, some knowledge you can't get in college, and talking about coaches and how to handle their relationships. This is one of those things that, again, they don't really teach you when you're taking those courses, and you kind of have to just learn by doing. And my hopes here is that you guys are able to take away just some bit of advice and apply it to your own personal relationships so that you're able to have nice, healthy, long-lasting relationships. So I just want to start it off with basically I want to start to make a couple of videos in regarding just like coaching in general. So there's some things that, you know, I've put out, like throwing content, stuff like that. But this is definitely for those who are going into coaching, that are coaches already, just trying to find a balance in between, like, how do I balance all this extra work with doing, you know, private sessions, or potentially doing extra hours at school or something like that. This, again, is just to kind of help balance out everything that you have going on in life. Potentially have other aspirations that are not just coaching. Maybe you have aspirations of doing something with your own athletics. Maybe you're still kind of hoping to, so I'm in track and field, I'm hoping to potentially make a national championship or something like that. Anyways, the reason why I wanted to make this video is because this topic has been circling around, and it's been something that I've been trying to balance since I got into coaching. Man, I'm going on almost 10 years now. And essentially it's taken a lot of my adult life to try and figure out not only the balance, but also like to dismember some of the things that I personally had going on just as a person, right? Or as a man, like you got a couple other hurdles that you got to kind of like go through, that you may not even know you have, right? So today I'm just going to talk about a couple of things. I have 4 big points that I want to make, or 5 big points actually, in regards to what you can do if you're trying to balance out relationship and coaching, because it is a very, very high rate in which even professional athletes. So for example, if you still have an athletic ambition for whatever reason, there is a high rate for divorce, or even like breaking up, just because the time management, it has to be on point. There has to be an absolute like point where there's a separation between your personal life and your professional life, and we'll talk about that right now. The things that you can do, there's a couple of things that you can do, and I'm talking about relationships, not only just like friendships, but the main one is going to be a relationship with your significant other. For whatever reason, you guys are either married or you guys are just, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend. I think rules still apply, kind of the same thing, right? So here are 5 things that you can do while trying to balance out everything. So 5 things you can do. First thing is express appreciation. You are going on and you're taking your partner on for a ride. This is like, hey, I gotta go to the next town over, the next state over, whatever it is. And if they pack you a lunch, they encourage you, you got this, you got to show the same amount of gratitude, even if it's for something small, for something big. Remind them, hey, thank you for riding this out with me. Thank you for being understanding of my schedule or what I got going on. I really, really appreciate you. So appreciation, this could be a text, this could be a phone call, this could be an extra long hug or something like that. That way you're able to kind of show that you actually are showing gratitude towards them. So that's the first one. The second one is, and this is important, is spend quality uninterrupted. That means, coaches, you got phone calls going day and night, text messages, emails, DMs from recruits. The sky's the limit here. There has to be a moment where you're pausing that stuff, especially in this new age of coaching, where you're so accessible. So maybe back in the day, it was like an email and a phone call. There was no text messages. There was no Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, so on and so forth. So there has to be, and I had this conversation with multiple people. My one of my coaches that I come to mind that his name is Coach Kim. The guy's a legend in my town, Hollister, and he's a football coach. And I said, because I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm a younger coach still, I'm not married right now. I don't have kids, but I'm like, hey, those are things that I'm definitely like aspiring to do. Like, how do you balance out like your life at home? Which I'm thinking like, hey, you got a wife and kids, and a wife and kids is a really big commitment, and athletics. And anybody who has a successful program pours out their heart and soul into this damn thing. So like, you are putting everything into this. And I remember doing like everything I possibly could. So just to get some kind of success, right? So when I'm talking about spending quality time, turn your phone off, put it on silent, do not disturb, do not pick up that phone call, do not pick up that text, that email, whatever. There's times where I've picked up my phone, and because of the coaches, I've gotten like 50 text messages. I've gotten 2 or 3 missed calls at a time, a ton of emails that roll in all times of night, DMs that, from recruits or athletes that are worried about recruitment or what they have to do with their own technique, or they're dealing with their own competition anxieties. There has to be time for yourself and your significant other to just be you guys, because this profession thing, like this coaching and or any other profession, it's going to be very, very time consuming. I remember being on phone calls because of athletes had anxiety, or they had a bad competition, or they wanted to review this information. There has to be a designated time in which you spend with your partner and make it about you guys or yourself and any other person, so that you're able to kind of like just be and exist. Because if not, you're going to just continuously live for the other subject and not have your own life with your partner. It's always going to be about your athletics or your sport and stuff like that. And I'm going to tell you something, those things never stop. It doesn't matter if it's preseason, off season, in season especially, but those things never stop. But you could be also forgetting to enjoy and or spend that quality time that's going to make you and your significant other feel really, really connected. That could be movies, that could be having a time where you guys just talk and have some snacks, stuff like that, or maybe you guys do something together that is something that's awesome. You guys need to have some time, and this is the thing that I've done. This is one of my secrets, is schedule the time. Maybe have a calendar in which you guys are able to say, okay, Friday I can see you at 6, 7 I can see you at this time. I haven't found an app yet to kind of do that, but my goal was to be able to find a common app to be able to share that with my significant other, to be able to just kind of like get on the same damn schedule. Like, everyone's doing everything, right? Your life doesn't stop, or their life doesn't stop because you're a coach. It's the same exact thing. You just kind of rolling through it. So the next point is listen actively. So just like you have a ton of problems with, little Susie and little Jose or something like that, you have to also listen actively in order for you to be also a part of their lives. So if you're going and always worrying about other people and not worrying about your significant other, this is where you kind of mess up, because you're trying to solve all these problems for all these younger individuals that are under your care, but you're forgetting, your main star, your big guns here, which is your mental and physical support potentially. So listen actively, take a general interest in what they're talking about. Maybe it could be, it could be makeup or something, and you're like, man, I know nothing about makeup, but I'll listen to you about the different palettes and or the new books you saw, or the new snacks you saw on shelf. And just even repeating those things and understanding that, like not only just listening, but understanding. And that's the big one, is understanding. You can listen and just be like, in your mind somewhere else. Actively listen to what they're saying. It could be something random, but even having, again, like that brief period of time where you're listening could also be something that's quality time. The next one is going to be surprise them. So surprise them with something simple. It could be a handwritten note. It could be something like a snack or a treat. The handwritten notes for me has gone pretty far, because it shows that you're taking general time, not a text message. People have been, so everyone gets a text message, but see, I come from a different era, man. Like, I remember handwritten notes in middle school and even high school. You'd pass the notes and stuff, and like now, like getting a handwritten note is a taboo, and is also like, wow, like this person actually took some time to like write something for me, and like really just give it some thought. And even if it's those scratches and stuff like that, leave the scratches in there, because it shows like the rawness of your thoughts or emotions. And I've done a little something where sometimes I wear, like, cologne or something, and I'll put that with the cologne, like on the note. And maybe they miss you, and they just, maybe you're away for a trip, and they read the note again, and they smell the note. And there is memories associated with smells. So if you're able to smell your partner, there's an association of those memories, which can trigger positive memories. So those are just, little tidbits about the letters. But also remembering their favorite snacks. Maybe it's a favorite candy. Maybe it's some chocolates. Maybe it's remembering that they like See's candy, or dark chocolate, or things like that. It's really, really important. The details are always going to be important, just like in your coaching. It's the coaching, you're remembering, hey, you got to get this particular movement, or stretch the same way, or a right way. It's the same thing about details when it comes to making sure your partner is getting the correct surprise, not just some random like pack of gum. Maybe it's a pack of gum that they love, but it's not just a random one, right? It's intentional. The last one that I'm going to talk about is supporting their goals. Number 5. Supporting their goals, not just your own, is going to be really important. Encourage them to chase that license, or that thing that they always wanted to do. Support their crazy idea to build a picnic table, or to make a YouTube, or to just do something that they've always wanted to do. Encourage those thoughts. Don't put them down. At the end of the day, your partner is trusting you as their safe, as their Pandora's box. So anytime that they're sharing something with you, and it's something that could be silly to you, but if it's to them and they're mentioning it to you, they've probably thought about it more than just once. If they're saying they want to make a YouTube or something, they've probably thought about it more than one time. So support their goals, support their dreams, because even though you may be in championship season, you may be in, go mode, it doesn't mean you forget about your partner and what they want to do. And again, this goes back to just actively listening and taking a general interest in what they got going on, not just what you got going on, right? The next thing, other than those 5 awesome things that you can do with your partner, the big one is going to be accountable. So accountability, not only with the things that are going on, but just accountability for change. I've seen a lot of relationships, for example, and I'm going to just speak for my own, where even situations, it doesn't have to be relationships, where instead of taking accountability, there's more of a deflection. So a deflection is something like, I wouldn't have yelled if you did what I said. This is just how I am. If you knew what you signed up for, things like that. So this is actually called defensive attribution. This is actually a concept that was named by Shaver in 1970. So accountability is going to be huge, because as we kind of go forward, and we are kind of trying to form something, and build a bond and stuff like that, it's easier to blame another person than to take accountability for your own stuff, your own actions. It's one of those things that if your first instinct for something is always going to be to battle, or to argue, or to basically just fire back, right? It's not really growing. It's just kind of keeping score, if that kind of makes sense. And if it's one of those things that if you understood it's part of the process of kind of being in a relationship, right? Like, or having a partner, especially as a coach, it needs to happen. If you do not realize that in some part, even if in your wild imagination, if you do not think that you have a role in the issue, you are never going to solve a problem. It's going in a carousel, and the problem will come around and around and around and around, until you eventually take some accountability. Yes, it hurts to know that, yelling or screaming or firing back, but you did this, you did that, there are pieces that you can take accountability for that will help you for the longevity. Listen to what your partner says. And this is going to carry you not only just because you're in a coaching mindset, you're thinking maybe, hey, like, I don't have to be accountable because I'm a coach and I'm an authority figure, for example. You cannot talk to your significant other or your partner as if you're coaching someone, right? You have to take accountability. Like if someone says, I need you to be better, then be better, right? Like there is something that needs to be heard when someone says, be better, I need you to be better, I need you to do this, you know. Maybe like, hey, like I don't want to do that, like I'm not wrong, like I don't, you know, that's not me, that's their problem. It's like, no, but the person that they're in a relationship with is you. So especially when it comes to a coaching mindset, you have to take accountability. You can't just point a finger, blame, it's you, it's you, it's you. Take some accountability, hear what they're saying, process it, and then ultimately understand that if you cannot attribute that you are part of the problem, you will never be able to get to a proper solution. Okay, so accountability is huge, right? Anyways, I want to wrap up this video, but I hope to make more videos just like this. And briefly, I just kind of wanted to go over some of those steps that I mentioned to kind of do as a coach, trying to be in a relationship, for example, because this is not knowledge you get in college, and it's something that I'm trying to give you guys, trying to lace you guys up with some game. I've been in coaching for, I'm about to go into a decade now, so it's been you know, a journey. I've coached high school, I've coached youth, like, you know, 3 years old, I've coached 90-year-olds, I've coached collegiate, which is my bread and butter. Though that's kind of like something that just generally I'm talking from personal experience. I've had experiences losing relationships and trying to maintain them, and it's always a grind, but those are some of the things that I just kind of want to go over and list. So the things that you can do for your partner to kind of just help be in a relationship in general. Express appreciation. So express appreciation is like, you know, seeing him in person, I thank you, you're amazing, I couldn't do it without you, you deserve the world. Like these are some phrases that make someone feel amazing, and let them be seen and let them be known that they care, right? That you care, that they're there, that you really appreciate them being around you. The second one is going to be spend quality time. So spend quality time, even if it's just like in a car, jamming out, listening to music, eating snacks, talking about like some Instagram reel or something, or something that you saw in the daily. And it could just be, it could be something as simple as that, or as awesome as taking a weekend getaway, or a day or a daycation where you just go down the road and, you know, you find something. Maybe it's a hike where you guys are able to disconnect from the world, and just do your thing, right? Listen actively. So again, this is the next one, number 3. Active listening is going to allow you to engage in what's going on in their daily life as well as yours. And don't just go like engage with what they're saying, their dialogue, and, you know, respond. Oh, so, you know, little Susie, you know, did this, or little Jose did that. Like, you know, actively listen to what they're talking about. Number 4, surprise them. So surprise them with something small. It could be something as simple as their favorite book, their favorite snack. It could be, hey, you got them something because you were thinking about them. Make them a something that I've done is like a little pack, right? Like if they're sick, get them, you know, some medicine, some food, some water. It could just be a little pack, and then, like, you know, like, I'm thinking about you. Oftentimes they hold you down, like hold them back down and give them a little bit of a snack pack or something, or hey, it's a good day to have a spa day or something. Give them a gift card, or just something like a bit more maybe meaningful, right? That they would appreciate. Support their goals. So remind them of their goals if they start to slip. Encourage them to take those leaps of faith if it doesn't affect anything. Like if they're wanting to like go to church, if they're wanting to just, you know, start a new venture with their entrepreneurship, or with their career goals or anything like that, support them through, because at the end of the day, you and the partner are there to support each other. You are the ones that are going to go through life, and hopefully through life, right? So support each other, support their goals, and that way you are both feeding off each other, because if they're happy, then you're going to be happy. And the last one, which is something that I highlighted, is accountability. Accountability, instead of being defensive, it's easy, and it's something that you got to break. It's a cycle. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of it. I've been definitely one of those people that have definitely been more deflective and been kind of more of the defensive attribution that I spoke about earlier, which is actually a psychology term. There has to be some accountability, and even if it hurts, take it in the jaw. Learn some new methods. Maybe you get freaking angry because you're like, man, like I can't solve this problem instantly, or I don't know what to tell you. Like, learn a breathing method. It's up to you to understand, to learn those things if you want to break a cycle, because ultimately those things may trickle on not only to your athletes. For example, if you get upset, you're like, F this, like I don't care, like you can't do that, man. You got to be able to kind of like take accountability for what you mess up on, and be a part of the solution, because this is something that, again, if you don't want to have the same things repeat, you have to take accountability and learn how to make the adjustment and be a part of the solution. And being part of the solution sometimes is admitting that you're wrong, and like eating that, or again, like taking it in the jaw. It hurts. Sit with it, process it, think about it, but then ultimately jump back up and let's go get it. Like let's go find what it is, or hey, I'm doing some research online, or I'm looking at a book, or maybe YouTube video. Or if you need a lot of guidance because you're like super lost and your partner has a high expectation for you, go to a psychologist, or go to a therapist, or go to couples counseling, for example, if you really, really, really are invested in that direction, right? But ultimately, you are the key factor to also be able to move forward, because without accountability, even if it sucks, even if you're like, man, I think I'm right, I know I'm right, you're just acting like and you're doing whatever, there has to be something in where you have a part in it. You have, even if it's something that hey, like you're trying to learn, like for a guy, for me, for example, man, like public display of affection is like, oh my goodness, like, hey, I gotta post, and I gotta beautify this, and I'm a dude, right? Like, so like, even like in a societal norm, for example, like a lot of dudes are not supposed to show that they're soft, right? They're supposed to be hard. And like, for example, like my era, my upbringing, for example, was even my parents didn't show whole lot of affection or love and stuff like that. They cared a lot, and they try to show love in their way, but that's something that I need to dismantle. And it's not only that, but the people around me, it's one of those things like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta look this way, you got those things are up to you to dismantle. And if your partner is calling it out and stuff, it may be a process. And to be able to make that true change, one, you have to realize what the heck's going on. The second one is you got to be able to also tell your partner, it may not happen in one day, it may not happen in two, but I can measure this in 6 months or 4 months or 3 months. In 3 months, I will try and take something and do something that's going to be uncomfortable. And being uncomfortable is going to be okay. It's just gonna suck, and you may get, in your own mind, you might feel like it's a little like, hey, ice to the tooth type of feel, like, oh man, like, but again, like, if you're not able to come to terms with a solution, you will always go in a merry-go-round, and you come back to the same problem. And it's just going to be a repetitive thing until something breaks or pops, right? Anyways, if you guys enjoy this video, and you like this talk or this different perspective on coaching, because I definitely didn't get this perspective on coaching when I was coming up, it's something that I had to kind of learn as I'm going through it. It's one of those things that, hey, if you guys are able to learn maybe from myself, or hopefully if you guys are still watching, put some comments down below that someone can actively do, because as a coach, I'm still learning, and my process is I'm always going to be a student, and this is just a different aspect of the game, if you will, that has to be learned. It has to be learned if you want to have a relationship that's healthy. If you want to have the next thing, which could be not only a healthy relationship with yourself and your partner, maybe with your parents, those are all things that kind of knock down. Um, or your siblings or your friends and stuff like that. These are just things that happen in real life. But these things will hopefully solidify the relationships that you have everywhere you go. But if you guys have any kind of tips for those who are just coming up, put those things down in the comment section so we could help someone else out, man. You never know if it's just, hey, buy her flowers every chance you get. Every time you see your favorite candy, don't hesitate, just act, just buy that thing and then give it to her, because it's a small gift you can do. And my mom would always have this saying, is like, I'd rather you buy me flowers when I'm alive than dead. And that's maybe a little bit of a toxic thing to say, but she was saying it because it's true, man. Like, if you want to give someone flowers, if you want to give them that little gift we talk about that shows them a little bit of appreciation, make that be known if you see it. Like, don't wait for something to go wrong and then buy flowers. Buy those flowers because you care, and because you want the other person, your partner, to be happy, or your parents, or your brothers and sisters or whatever, because even brothers and sisters need some flowers from time to time, right? Anyways, please comment down below, one, if you guys have advice, or two, if you enjoyed this type of content, because I would love to make more content with some knowledge that you don't get in college, that you have to go through the coaching experience to pretty much do. So if you guys have any tidbits or advice, put it down below. If you want them to see more videos like this, also please comment down below. This is Frankie Martinez with Heart of a Warrior Strength. I hope to see you guys back soon. Please like, subscribe, share if you have a coach that's kind of going through it, a brand new coach that's barely understanding this is a profession. And not only just do I gotta learn the stuff that's in the books and the textbooks and the X, Y, and Z, those things are easy. Let me tell you, the relationships, for example, that you're gonna have with your partners, with your partner, whatever you have, wife, girlfriend, husband, boyfriend, whatever it is, those things take a lot of work, and it takes a little bit more digging than just something that's in a textbook, because you don't have to take accountability for what's in the textbook necessarily, right? You can learn that, and we're good. But the accountability for dismantling your own BS, that takes some work, because you got to be like, hey man, I'm wrong, right? Someone's got to say it. Anyways, this is Frankie Martinez with Heart of a Warrior Strength. Like, subscribe, and share. See you guys next time.